Hi, I'm Patty McGarrahan with The Mind's Eye, and I want to welcome today Dawn Kempf. She usually works for us in the background on the TV show, but she has been doing holistic things for like many, many years. And if you notice the title of it, she said Patty made her do it. I had somebody call out today, so I did get her to do the show. I've been trying for a while. So welcome to Dawn Kempf on the show today.
Thank you for having me.
That was a little fresh. So, Dawn, you have been doing holistic stuff forever. So
Yeah, for what seems like forever anyway.
yeah, yes.
Do tarot, Reiki, Karuna Reiki, hypnosis, ghost hunting.
And almost anything else you can think of.
Anything else in between.
Almost any. Last night, I thought that was just so funny when we were having sound baths with Jeremy, and I'm bringing up that somebody's talking about a certain
Class.
a certain class, and Dawn knows about that. So
that's the book report that's still missing that I haven't given you
yes.
to finish out my hypnosis.
that Viola, whatever it was.
It's the Silva mind control.
So Silva mind control, yes. So anyway, I found that intriguing because I've got somebody wanting to do a class on it.
It's a lot about self-hypnosis and manifesting.
Mm-hmm.
So it's about wanting something and making it a reality.
And who should be practicing some of that now?
Everybody else.
Dawn and I are also related through marriage, so I've only known her since she was about this high. So that's why I'm a little fresher with her than I normally am. So talk about when did you open up to tarot?
Tarot, I started doing when I went into the service. So back in the early 90s, 1990s.
Mm-hmm.
Then I started seeing a lot of death, and I shut it down because it kind of freaked me out.
Yeah.
Little did I know it was because I was going into a war zone, but that was a different.
Yes, yes.
And then after my youngest son, who you've already interviewed on here, after he was born, you came over to do tarot readings, and I just opened it back up again.
It didn't take you long.
No.
It didn't take you long after that to open it back up again. Yeah.
And from there we did Reiki, and we did a lot of other classes.
Yep. And you're one of my regular readers at the dinners that we do, and
Right.
and that kind of stuff. So we have you doing that.
And we've gone on our share of
Field
house
trips.
clearings and field trips.
Field trips. All
Yeah.
kinds of field trips.
Yeah.
We've also, Dawn and I and a whole group of people, we actually went up to an area in New Hampshire. What were the names of those people? I can't even believe
Shakers.
it. The Shakers. We went up there, and some people told us it was a little hill that turned out to be a small mountain.
It was a ski slope.
A ski slope. So half the people were having troubles getting up the hill, but we got up the hill, and it was where the Shakers did their ceremonies.
Right.
And Dawn and I particularly could really feel the energy
I got
from
a
that.
good piece of amethyst from up there.
Did you? Yeah. And in the Shakers group. The Shakers disappeared very fast because one of the things they were not allowed to do was to multiply. They weren't allowed to have kids or to be intimate with each other, and then they wondered why they ran out of people.
Why they all died out?
And actually, La Salette has bought
The property.
And we're very fortunate that two fabulous gentlemen that we work with actually got us in there so that we're able to do that.
There were a couple that started to go up the hill and quit very quickly.
Yes, your aunt being one.
Yeah, my aunt, and Barbara was another one.
Yeah, I think so, yeah. Dawn and I have also taken a group to Walden's Pond.
Yep.
I did a meditation up at Walden's Pond, and partners in crime up there. We went and we sat on the water. Walden's Pond has got an interesting story.
We did a
crystal
meditation up there.
Yeah, a crystal supposedly fell from the sky into the center, and Walden's Pond's supposed to be healing water. And so we picked a spot to do a meditation where, what's the name of that author, the guy that did a lot of writing and stuff like that? Walden's Pond, I can't think of the name.
Yeah,
So,
I can't
but
think of
anyway,
him right now.
we went and we sat where he would do his writing. He felt it was right outside of his cabin. And we had the whole town practically standing there doing the meditation with us.
That, and they invited us to a couple of parties afterwards.
Yes. So we made new friends. Ender's Island.
Island.
With
that
Rainer
was
and doing healing and
that was a lot of
meditation.
fun.
Yeah.
We did the sanctuary up in Mass with the birds on the beach.
Oh, it's beautiful. 7 Mile Beach.
Yes.
But before that, remember, we went to this ground in this park, and a guy was doing some music, and it was music that he had done in Arizona.
It was an art festival.
Yep. But a gentleman was doing that music.
You put me on the spot that day too.
Yes, I did.
You made me do a meditation.
I made her do a meditation. She's really good at what she does, but sometimes she hesitates. So I get her to do it, but not with reading. She's not hesitating at all.
We had several people join in on that one.
Yes. But the guy that was doing the music part of that, we just, all of a sudden, we ran up there and we all just laid on our backs, and he was like so
what
excited.
Are they doing?
No, but he was excited because that's what he wanted. He taped music played with the winds in Arizona, like in the desert.
And he was very interesting.
He was very interesting.
But to lay down and to hear it from that level versus standing up, it gave it a whole different dimension. So, and that's what he was kind of hoping people would do, but it kind of freaked him out at the same time that we just came over and did it.
Yeah,
he didn't have to explain.
Ask anything. I was psychic. So he did. But there's so many places to go where the energy is so beautiful that if you're opening up or you're having issues or even just to feel it.
Yeah, you don't want to go with us to New York. That's
a different story. We've done a lot of that stuff in there too.
And the energy of the city, we kind of keep up with the pace, and other people fall behind or break.
Right. But no, and if anybody ever wants to know some of the places, Walden's Pond, I would suggest everybody to go. That the healing energy from that pond is so beautiful.
Some of the places that we've been have been by invitation only. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of hard to say, oh yeah, you should go here, you should go there. But those are some of the more interesting places we've been. Yeah, we were dying going up the hill in New Hampshire, but as soon as you get to the top of the hill, you were all of a sudden regenerate. You had your energy level back, and we were climbing down, checking out brooks, checking out this, checking out that.
And the Shaker Village. We went to some of the places in the Shaker Village. That is incredible.
Although we did need a sled to come back down.
Yeah.
That would have been fun.
That would have been fun. But no, some of these places, there's so many beautiful places, even just right in New England, that you can use to, and when that powerful energy, you can feel what you've heard so many of us talk about.
Right.
Get to feel. And we've done a lot of that work. Yeah. And so I've got her doing more readings now.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, so.
Well, it's funny that my first group that used to come to me regularly were for elderly Catholic priests.
Yep.
And every 3 months, like clockwork, they'd show up. And one by one, they've all passed on. But I always found it amusing that it really doesn't go with Catholicism. Mm-hmm. But yet, well, Father Crowley was kind of
cool,
my buddy.
Yeah. And then afterwards, we actually had a priest that believed in this. His grandmother passed away, and he found runes and cards in her drawer, and the family was very taboo on any of that kind of stuff. but he was intrigued and wanted to know about it, and he later got us in a lot of places.
Yeah.
And he helped us out. He had to leave us once he did his final vows,
Right.
because he was getting in trouble. But he can come play with us again because he's now an Episcopal.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so he can come visit us, which is
I miss
absolutely,
playing with those two. They were fun.
yeah. And it's absolutely, it's incredible work they do. And I have this gentleman from Guatemala that does incredible healings down Enda's Island. And Enda's Island, if you ever get a chance, it's right past Mystic. You take a left the opposite way of Mystic Pizza, and you take the first right and you go down to Enda's Island. And it's so cool. They have this box that this elderly man has been in for 100 years, and you just say Enda's Island. He goes, okay. So I don't quite know why he's there, but it is a neighborhood
gives
that's
him a
got private.
purpose.
Yeah, but I love seeing him. I grin when I see him. And we go down there, and they actually have an altar, and they have this beautiful stoneway. And actually, I know multiple people that have actually released ashes there too. I don't know if it's legal, so I don't know if I should say that, but they release it, and the energy in there is so incredible. Enda's Island was had run by the Catholics, and some bad things happened down there. So this fabulous Catholic priest actually got all healers from all over the world, Guatemala, Japan, just everywhere you can think of to do healing on there. And it's pretty incredible.
The energy down there is fabulous.
Yeah. And in the church, they have a mummified hand
Yeah. I
of a
have pictures of
healer.
that on my phone.
You do? You have a picture on the phone? Yeah.
Still have it.
Yeah. So it's incredible. It's absolutely incredible.
It was of a pope.
Yes. And he was a healer.
Right.
And so they kept his hand in a glass case to keep the healing in the church and on the land, which is pretty interesting.
I still think once you started dismembering him, it kind of lost the energy.
I love the energy of it. I love it. And I love that I can get the grandkids all excited about going into church because of it. So that's pretty good. So now Reiki,
I'm a Reiki master. I'm a Karuna Reiki master. I've started working with Cosmic Reiki. I gotta finish that one.
Karmic, yeah.
And then if I finish my book report, I am a hypnotherapist.
She did all the work. She's missing a little book report, and been missing it for a little while now.
Yeah.
And then she's a hypnotherapist.
What else have I done?
Mediumship, absolutely. Now, some of what she does is she does a lot of stuff at the Mind's Eye, but she also she works with the elderly, taking care of them, using it there, and she's a veteran. So with the Veterans Association, she also every once in a while has to send a little extra uju out there for some of them.
Sometimes I need to take a deep breath before I send anything out to them.
Absolutely, absolutely. So in here, what are your goals for the future with some of the stuff? Do you have hopes of doing this?
For the future, I mean, I hope to pick up, make a bigger clientele. Mm-hmm. I hope do more adventures.
Yeah, we stopped the adventures. We have to
we
get
gotta
them
do
rocking
those
again. Because we were doing adventures all the time. I mean, everything from racing down to New York to see Sylvia Brown, and we were
Lisa Williams.
Lisa Williams, yep.
And we ended up in a club for a dinner and drag show because Broadway shut down. There's a lot of things.
A lot of fun things, yeah. My first reaction, somebody yelled that there was a stabbing going on in the subways in New York. So I started to race to help the person, and Dawn had to stop me so that I didn't die. And then my husband found out that we were at a subway at midnight, and that was not very happy. Dawn was on the bad girl list for a little bit.
Yeah.
So,
He was mad at me for quite a while.
yeah.
Not realizing that I didn't want to take the subway in the first place. I thought $185 for a town car was a
For
deal
10
with
people,
for 10
that was like
people.
$20 a piece with tip, you know? So, 22 maybe with tip.
Yeah.
I would have done that in a minute rather than do the subway, but definitely
was an
interesting adventures. And like I said, we need to do more adventures for sure, because they just kind of life got busy and we just stopped doing them.
Yeah. I mean, there's been a lot of changing and wouldn't say growing, but we've had a lot of loss in a short period of time.
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
now it's time to kind of come back out.
Come back out, yeah.
I want to do Salem
Plus
again.
you really want me to drive you around places.
Well, driving Miss Daisy.
Driving Miss Daisy, they tease me that.
No, it's actually, they usually call us Thelma and Louise.
Yes, without a doubt, for sure. So, in here, how can people get a hold of you if they want to book appointments?
If they want to book appointments, you can go to my email, which is dawn0271@yahoo.com, or you can reach me on my Facebook page. It's Dawn Kempf.
KMPF.
Or you can reach me through Patty. She knows how to get a hold of me.
I do constantly. I do constantly, for sure.
Yeah.
So in here, we also had her son on it that does music healing and worked with my grandson
Right.
for quite a few years. So, and then you've got your daughter with abilities. She's shut down right now, I think, but she's got a bunch of abilities too.
That's because she's realized that she has to open up what her daughter kind of showed her glimpses of when she was pregnant, and her daughter's wide open right now.
Yeah.
The baby is.
She's got to be 2 years old and she is wide open.
Yeah.
And we know I tell a lot of stories, Colin stories. There's going to be some stories coming up in the future about
Little Aurora, yeah.
Little Aurora. Yeah, she's definitely a busy girl, but she's definitely working on the other side.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And Dawn, you've been working on the other side since I've known you.
I have since childhood.
Yeah.
I wasn't allowed certain places in the Catholic Church
No.
because I would start saying things, no, we don't talk about that.
Yeah.
So,
What were some of the things that made you how old were you when you first knew that or had stuff happen that?
my first memory of because I lost my younger brother, for the longest time, I always talked to him, and he always responded. So it just didn't seem out of the ordinary for me. And as I got older, people were like, well, you can't really do that. And I'd give them answers to things, or I'd tell them things from people that had passed, and they'd look at me like, how did you know that? I've never told anybody. Mm-hmm. Well, you think there might be something to it?
And when you were talking to your brother, how old were you then?
He passed when I was 5, so and he was 4.
Mm-hmm. That's almost exactly the same age as I started
Yeah.
rattling off stuff.
Well, I was rattling stuff off before then, but that's my first memory.
My first memory is
At around 5.
yeah. And the first memory I have wasn't mediumship. It was actually psychic. I am a foodie, which you can tell. And we were up in New Hampshire for the first time, and I begged my father to take a right. I said, go down that road, go down that road. Why? There's a cow on top of the building. And he goes, what? I said, we can make our own sundaes. And they're trying to figure out how a 5-year-old that's never been in New Hampshire before knew how to find a place. I'm still good at that, so if anybody needs to know where ice cream is, you can contact me, because I'm really good at finding that kind of stuff. So now, did you continue staying open, or was there at some point that you closed off?
Teenage years, I think I closed off a bit, but not for long.
Yeah, I did for a pretty long time. I did for like 5 years.
The tarot stuff, I didn't shut down the mediumship stuff. I shut down tarot and, I mean, I've worked in some pretty odd buildings, even in the service. I worked in a building for the anniversary of the bombing of Pearl Harbor in what they call the Pacific, it was Pacific Command building.
Okay.
It still had holes in the building from when it was bombed during Pearl Harbor. Because the Air Force airfield.
I took the grandkids down there. It was pretty amazing.
Hickam was hit before Pearl Harbor. And there were just as many casualties. I mean, the building was odd because you could smell bacon cooking first thing in the morning. You could see things in mirrors that you shouldn't be able to see.
Okay.
Didn't make any sense. You got glimpses of the past. The building no longer had any kind of kitchen in it, so there was no way you were smelling bacon at 7 a.m.
I love it.
The fact that you could see a building that had gone non-smoking before that was the thing to do, you could see somebody smoking a cigarette going down the mirrors. And there were other wild stories that came from that building, from other people that didn't really believe at the time either. So it was a lot of fun to explore and
what are some? Tell me some other buildings. I'm feeling a field trip.
Yeah, we're not going to Hickam.
No, okay.
I could get on. I don't think they'd let you on.
They
It's
wouldn't let me.
military
Yeah,
installation,
yeah.
and I guess it's a joint installation now with Pearl,
Oh, okay.
from what I've been told. So I don't even know if I could get back on. There's been like buildings over in Saudi Arabia that were really cool and really creepy, and you wouldn't see or hear anything until the prayer call started, and then all of a sudden you'd see the shadows move, and you'd see like people from the past come out with their prayer rugs and roll them out. And
Now, were there
stop
anybody
praying.
else that were with you that also saw some of this stuff?
There were a couple of guys, but they were like constantly convincing themselves that they didn't see that.
Oh, okay. I gotcha.
There are haunted houses all over the place.
No, I was talking the military.
Military?
I had the haunted houses. Most of them I've been to, but the military I missed.
We should see if we can go to Aldrich Mansion.
I've been in there.
Yeah, that place is fun.
Aldrich Mansion, my brother had a lot of access to, so unfortunately he's not around anymore. They loved him. And
Well, I used to set up weddings there.
did you?
Yes.
Yeah. And they had an event up there that I went with the grandkids, Becky and I and the grandkids.
Graduation.
No, it wasn't actually graduation. They had an event up there. I forgot what it was. And I could feel the energy. And so could a couple of my grandkids. So it is very cool. Oh, you know what we got to talk about going to the land, that the hospital, the children's hospital. Did you go?
No, I didn't go to lad.
Oh, you didn't go to lad
No,
school?
I had to work.
That was pretty amazing, lad school was. We actually, two of us I had my grandson and another girl had her son, and the first thing they did is they look up in the trees and they go, I'm seeing girls' faces in the trees.
I grew up going there. My grandfather was an accountant at lad. So we'd go to bring Grandpa lunch, or we'd go down to pick Grandpa up from work or whatever. I always knew there was a lot more to that building than, because it creeped me out even as a child. So I knew something was
crazy.
going on there.
We got hundreds and hundreds of energies up
Yeah.
when we went there with the group, and it was absolutely crazy. And the doctor in there, as soon as I started asking about electrodes and stuff like that, he got quiet. And then the nurse, when I picked on one of the nurses that was in there, she wasn't good. There was one that was, oh my God, what a beautiful soul.
Well, I mean, unfortunately, like any career, for every good-hearted and does their job 100%, you have 5 that don't.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, that hospital ran
You
like that.
should have been at Sound Healing last night. We went into a whole discussion on that. Yeah, and this one like girl, I could see her putting like bright red lipstick on, and then when I kind of referred to her as something that I shouldn't have, the doctor got really angry and yelled at me and it came up on tape, on an EVP tape. I always get yelled at somewhere along the way when we do one of these, but because come to find out, he was having an affair with her.
No, that's not surprising then.
Yeah, so that was crazy. But no, now you've got me rolling. I've got to start thinking of some places for some field trips. And we do this, the Mind's Eye does this. I mean, it doesn't cost anybody anything. We go and have lunch, and we just have a great time checking out the energy of places. And
we should set everybody loose on Salem.
Yeah. Yeah, I've gone there a lot.
Oh, I've gone there quite a few times.
In fact, my
The first time I brought Sierra there, she was 1.5 years.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And I dressed her up as Winnie the Pooh, and we had several guys that came up. They had everybody but Pooh. And they're like, can we take a picture with her? And they had Kanger and Tigger and everybody else. They're standing around this 2-foot Pooh that's in her carriage. And she thought that was the greatest.
Yeah. No, it was definitely. That sounds fabulous. You'll have to do that sometime. And I know so many other places. I would love to go to that 7 Mile Beach again, because I think I have a much stronger understanding of that beach now than I did when we went down there.
Well, the reserve behind it was pretty cool too.
Oh, it was absolutely beautiful.
I think we wandered around there for a while after.
Yeah. Where was it in New Hampshire?
No, that was Mass.
That was Mass. Oh, that's right. Yeah.
And that's how we learned about Not Your Average Joe's, because we had them for lunch.
Absolutely. That's right. That's right. That was also the park that was near there.
Right.
We did that all in one trip. So sometime if you go investigating, and if anybody has any ideas and they want to call me and have ideas, I'm good at setting up adventures.
And we did the bird sanctuary in Middletown. Mm-hmm. There was some pretty interesting energy on
there.
that.
Perfect. So yeah, I almost forgot about that bird sanctuary. That was actually a lot of fun.
Yeah. That was the day after I got into a car accident.
Really?
Yeah, I got hit with my mountaineer going to a wedding.
Wow.
Old man wasn't paying attention, right into me.
So in here, we'll have to both start thinking of some ideas, and we'll make announcements. If you go on the Mind's Eye Facebook page, I do put events and stuff like that up. But sometimes these little trips that we take, sometimes I don't usually put them up on there. I don't know why.
Those are usually
kind of word of mouth from the shop.
Yeah.
Yeah. But if anybody ever has an interest in seeing an area that has some energy and want to ask if we're going to do something, Donna and I are really good at that. Really good at flying down there, down, up, wherever we're going. So in here, so your game plan is to start doing some more of the holistic stuff?
I enjoy the holistic stuff. I mean, there are times when you get a reading where they suck the life out of you, and you're like, oh, I don't want to do this anymore. But at the same time, there's a dozen more that
I've had that.
You feel like you've given them at least some hope.
I called you from Pine Grove when I was up in Connecticut doing work, and I had that. I was ready to not go back there, not because of the place, the energy is fantastic, but because of my life kind of slamming into the place. And I got to tell you, I had one of the most emotional, fantastic, and it just did it to it. So Thank you, Dawn. You survived.
Yes, I did.
Yes. And you really put on that Patty made me do it. I saw it.
Yes, I did.